Hi, and welcome to my video about the electron transport system. So remember that the electron transport system is a part of aerobic ATP production by the cell. And that ATP is the energy or the molecule that provides energy for a cell to go about its day-to-day functions. And the electron transport system is actually the last and final step of this process, and it comes right after the citric acid cycle, which you will see that in stage 1 or level 1 that the citric acid cycle actually helps a lot in this because we have these high energy ions here that have come from it, and particularly what happens is that NADH and FADH2 releases these H plus ions, and because the NAD and FAD is going to be recycled back through the citric acid cycle. So it dumps all of these ions in the outer mitochondrial matrix, which is essentially this open area outside of the mitochondria in the cell. And what it needs to do is get in between the inner and outer mitochondrial membrane. So what it's going to do is Mario here is going to help us take these high energy ions through this green tube here, which would be like a protein in the membrane essentially. So that's how you can envision the tube as this portal, like a protein would be, to allow these ions to get in between these two membranes. So you're going to see that as we move on to level 2. Here, now we are inside these two layers. So the red bricks up here are the outer mitochondrial membrane, and the blue bricks down here are the inner mitochondrial membrane. And in between here we have the intermembrane space. So these high energy ions we're going to cache in, which are really going to turn into the H plus ions, which Mario's going to hand off to his brother Luigi. And Luigi is going to show us what happens exactly in the electron transport system. So remember, we're in between these two layers of the mitochondria here in this gray intermembrane space. What we have here is a protein that is going to be used in the electron transport system. So Luigi is going to take these H plus ions and push them up out back into the matrix. So in our mini game, as you see, what we have now is this ions going in between that inner area in between the two layers and going back out into mitochondrial matrix, which was that light blue area in the beginning. So this is going to create what we call an ion gradient. So essentially our boxes here are going to represent the ions. It's going to move through in and out, in and out, in and out. And what this does is create energy. So that's what you can see, like as we move from red to orange to yellow, the amount of potential energy in these H plus ions represented by the gold coin here is slowly going to go down. And as these go down and they're moving back out into mitochondrial matrix, which is the light blue area here again, you're going to see that 2 H pluses plus an oxygen and these really used energy ions is going to create water as a part of the process, which is essentially just going to be like a leftover part of the chemical reactions that are occurring. So as we go back in, after all these H pluses are moving out and creating energy, which is going to be really important for processes later on, in level 3, we're going to have Mario take some H plus and put it through the gray tube here, which the gray tube is representing a molecule called ATP synthase, which is the key producer, obviously, as it's named, of ATP, or the energy that we are looking to make from this overall process. So the H plus is going to go into the ATP synthase, which is chilling in the outer mitochondrial membrane. And when we get in, or Bowser's Dungeon, you're going to see that there's ADP needs this phosphate group here to make ATP over here. So what ATP synthase is going to do is use that energy that is coming from the electron transport system that we saw with Luigi in the boxes, and it's going to bind that phosphate group to the ADP and allow ATP to become into existence. Now, the important thing here is as this ATP is being thrown back into the mitochondrial matrix and we have this energy now for the body to use, is that energy conversions are never, unfortunately, but never exact. So Bowser is going to let off some steam here, or as you can see, there's going to be some heat produced from the reaction occurring. So that is the end process of this overall oxygen needing process to create energy for the body. So thank you for watching my video, and I hope that it was helpful.